Let's take a look at all the art supplies I packed for my trip to Venice, Italy, starting with this canvas bag I sewed up the week before I left and decorated with some Artex acrylic markers. These are the peach and goma cat emojis that I just love so much, so I customized them to be me and my friend. I made this bag because I needed a way to just corral all these odd items that I didn't want just floating around loose in my bag. I wanted to be able to grab one thing and have all of my art supplies in it. So here you can see everything that fits in that bag. There was some room to spare, but this is all I needed. First up and most important, of course, is the sketchbook. This is the sketchbook I started earlier this year. It's got a bunch of random stuff in it, but I took it with me to Italy to continue there. It's a Reflections watercolor journal with a 300-gram paper weight, so it's easily painted on both sides. There's a little bit of waviness to it, but that's to be expected. It holds up really well. I have not finished these pages, but I could at least keep it going in there. And the little pocket in the back was really convenient for stashing postcards and stickers and other things on my journey. I also packed this just lined paper journal with my binder clips on it. I ended up not using this at all, but it was nice to just sort of have in there as like a little backer board, and there have been occasions when I'm traveling where I just need some sort of scrap piece of paper or something, so this was sort of the sacrificial journal. Then I'm really excited about this because I also made this the week before I left. I really wanted to take some toned paper, so I made up these gray paper signatures and recycled the cover of some other sketchbook or paper pad for the cover and stitched up this tiny little booklet of toned paper, and I love this. This I actually used more than the watercolor journal because it was just easier because it's a little smaller and I could use my dry colored pencils in there. Next up were my 2 water containers. This is just one of those little like travel shampoo bottles that I took empty so I could fill with water to take the watercolor with me where I needed. And then my little glass jar that I can more easily just, dip a paintbrush in. It's small enough and sturdy enough, it's not going to break in the bag or anything. So there's my little water jars. And of course my watercolor brushes. This is a scavenged case from a different set. And then I have 2 additional sets that I pieced together in here between the gold and the silver brushes. This worked out really well, although funny thing, I didn't actually paint at all on this trip. I didn't have time. I was sketching and drawing and doing the colored pencils, but this made the journey anyways. And I've got a little hair tie on there just to hold the lid open or shut, depending how I need it. And then of course my watercolor set, which again, didn't see any use, but it's very portable. It's a vintage tin, a little tricky to open sometimes. Has a little extra space there that I stuff my kneaded eraser in so it stays pretty clean. And last but not least, I'm gonna make some room here for my Argyle tin, which houses everything else. Now this Argyle tin is kind of sentimental because I got it, and I'm opening it on the wrong side, go me. But it's kind of sentimental because I bought this tin on my first big travel abroad experience somewhere in England in 2010. These are the colored pencils I grabbed with me, again, the week before my trip that I decided I wanted to take. They seemed to sort of fit the vibe of Italy, and while I was there, I was missing this sort of terracotta color, but I found one, and then because I got this larger size, I needed a larger sharpener to go with it, so I got this huge thing. It's overkill, but it fit in the tin, so we went with it. Then in this little bag that I took from the Scott Sava watercolor set, and a couple other things here, I have my other tools, pens, pencils, erasers, the little eraser refill for my pencil, and the original sharpener I brought, which works great, but again was too small for that extra pencil I bought on the trip. I have my little ruler, again, my very sharp mechanical pencil here. I love this thing. And all my zebra brush pens. So I have the fine, a medium, and then the double-ended, which I think is, again, another medium and another extra fine. I really like those extra fines. So, yeah, I used these to ink my pages while I was on the go. And it worked out great. Everything fit in here. I liked having the little bag in there just as, like, a cushion for the pencils and everything. And it all packed up neatly in these cases and in the bags. I'm super pleased with how it all turned out. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions about any of these materials, and let me know what you would pack on an international art trip.